Partial derivatives. Question. Let f of x comma y equal to x square y plus 3xy square plus sin xy. 1. Find the first order partial derivative d partial f upon partial x and partial f upon partial y. Second, find the second order partial derivatives a partial square f upon partial x square, b partial square f upon partial y square, c partial square f upon partial x partial y, d partial square f upon partial y partial x. Third point, evaluate partial square f upon partial x partial y at the point x comma y equal to 1 comma 0. Now you can see here function is given. You know partial derivative. First you find the first with respect to x, then derivative with respect to y. Then you can see the given according to conditions. We simplify all steps. Now you can see step 1. First order partial derivatives. When function is given, we find partial f upon partial x. Differentiate f of x comma y with respect to x, getting y as constant. You know y is a constant value. Then we find the first derivative with respect to x, only x, then 2x by unit same plus with respect to x, you write 3 because derivative x is 1, 3y square. Now we find the derivative because the angle is x is given. Derivative of sin xy. Derivative of sin x cos x. It means you write cos and xy you write same. Then again angle derivative. Angle derivative only we get y. Partial f upon partial x equal to, you can see here x y plus 3y square plus का y cos xy we get partial upon f upon partial y. Differentiate f of x comma y with respect to y, treating x as constant. Here is x constant because we want to find derivative with respect to y. Now, according to your questions, you can see here partial f upon partial y. X square plus का 6xy plus का cos xy and x, because if we want to find the angle derivative with respect to y, then we get x. Right here, this funds final answer. Now we find second order partial derivatives. You can see here partial square f upon partial x square. According to your question, differentiate partial f upon partial x equal to, we have get already of second derivative with respect to x. Derivative of 2x only we get 2 and y you write same. Derivative of this number you get 0 because here is no x. Now y you write same. Derivative of cos x minus sin x. and we get angle derivative xy, because with respect to y, with respect to x, we want to find the derivative of xy, we get only y. Now you can see y, this y and this y multiply, then you get y square, and sine xy plus minus you get minus sine. B point partial square f upon partial y square, differentiate partial f upon partial y equal to x square plus 6xy plus x cos xy with respect to y. We have get already. Now we find with respect to y. Now you can see here, if we want to find derivative with respect to y, we get 0. You can't get right here. You can step all. If we want to find the derivative, then you write first 0. Now plus sign you write. Now with respect to y, we find derivative, then we get 6x. You can see here x cos xy with respect to y, because x is a constant. You write here the derivative of cos sine minus sine. You write minus sine angle derivative with respect to y, we get x. After the simplifications, you get here answer. Partial square f upon partial x and partial y. Differentiate partial f upon partial x equal to 2xy plus 3y square plus y cos xy with respect to y. Because you can see here, first f of x function is given, you write here. Now we again find with respect to y, because here is given with respect to y. Derivative of xy with respect to y is 2x, because we want derivative with respect to y. Same process. Derivative of 3y square is 6y. Derivatives of y cos xy using ordered rule, because here is given 2 times y. Or we want to find y with respect to y derivative. Now we get d upon dy x cos xy. First, you can see here the derivative of y is 1, and this number you write same, plus sign, and y you write same. Derivative of cos minus sin xy and derivative of angle xy, you get x, because we find with respect to y. After the simplification, we get this answer. Now we have find d upon dx. Now we put in these values according to your questions. You can see here we have find this answer, and you write, and already you find, then you write all answer according to your condition. Partial square f upon partial y partial x. Differentiate partial f upon partial y, x square plus का 6xy plus x cos xy with respect to x. So now here is given 2 times the partial derivative. So partial f upon partial y required, then again derivative with respect to x with respect to derivative of x square 2x, derivative of 6xy, 6y, derivative of this function, you can see here, derivative of x cos xy. We have find step by step because x is given and here is x two times. We use product formula, product rule. We have already defined the derivative of u, v same plus u same derivative of u, and angle derivative with respect to x we get y. After the simplification we find this answer. Now we put in all values which we get the answer. Conclusion, mixed partial derivatives are equal. Partial square f upon partial xy equal to partial square f upon partial y and partial x. Step 3. Evaluate at x y equal to 1 comma 0. Use partial square f upon partial x partial y. You can see here the question is given. Now we put in the value of x and y according to your questions. Now xy equal to 0 because the value of x equal to 1 according to your question and the value of y equal to 0. Now we find cos 0 equal to 1 and sin 0 equal to 0. Put in all the values after the simplification we get a final answer is 3. Now you can see here which we have find the answer step by steps.